The sporting director of Arsenal, that is Edu Gasper, has come out and spoken onto the draw of the quarterfinals of the Champions League of 2023-2024, where Arsenal is going to have to be drawn against Bayern Munich. And we are going to let you know when the games of play is going to be played and at what time. Everything is really going to be happening in there for you. Welcome to the Rokani Media Football. Hope you guys are really having fun wherever you are. Smash the like button, comment and share. If at all you're watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. So the Muslims, Ramadan Mubarak, and hope you're really having fun wherever you are. And this is the channel that brings you your latest news and information as far as your Arsenal news is really concerned. This is the Arsenal News Show. We are strictly talking Arsenal, and I think we're gonna hate to really start up with a Grant Xhaka story and very many other stories in there for you in the mix. Then we followed it up with the Champions draw reactions, and then we went ahead to put up what we call the this story that you're working on right about now. So please, let's see close to 300 likes matching this video, and don't forget to subscribe because we want to hit 20,000 and 100 subscribers before the end of this week, and let's make it happen. So the Christians, we cover you all in the precious blood of Jesus Christ, and may the living true God bless you abundantly, right? So I had not tied this. So where should we start from? Let's start it off from Edu Gasper, and then we'll close it with the confirmed time at which these games of football really going to be played at Emirates and Allianz Arena. Now, Edu said, it's a beautiful game to play. We are going to be playing against a team, Bayern Munich, that are very experienced in the competition, and the players that they have amazing, but we have good momentum. We are really excited to face them and see if we can go through. So, I've told you that Arsenal is ahead of schedule. Sometimes you would love to see to it that you go through until the quarterfinals as Arsenal to raise your money, because right now Arsenal is going to hit to achieve close to £100 million from the money they're getting in from the UEFA. That is it, meaning that that is really going to help their budget a lot, because Arsenal is really having a very huge wage bill. That's why they're trying to obviously cut it to where they want to be. That's why you saw to it that no player came on through and really earning £300,000 a week. Even Saka was given £298,000. That's the amount of money that was given to this guy. Now, through doing so, they have to really get in more money, and going through to the quarterfinals is really something great. And if at all they happen to really qualify for the semi-finals, that will be another huge chunk of money for them, close to, I think, is it 16 million euros more. So that is how huge Arsenal will earn that money. So he's saying Bayern is having experienced players and they play some beautiful game of football. Yeah, they have experienced players in this, and I think they still have a lot of players that went ahead to win that trophy in the 2020 Champions League final. Let me try to really Bayern 1-0 PSG. I just want to see how many players they still have into this, and I want to know who is still there. But for Manuel Neuer, we all know he was there into that game of football. It was the final. Not really. I want to see the final. I want the final. This 2020, right? It was played in 2020. That's when Bayern really emerged champions. So it was played on the 23rd of August. That's when the Champions League final was played. And when you look at Bayern Munich, let's see how many players they're still having that went ahead to obviously win this tournament. Let's go here. I think let me flash it on the screen and you guys see it by yourself, and we see how many experienced players does Bayern Munich still have that Edu is talking about. Don't you think so? Let's try and really have a look at this. Manuel Neuer is still at the club. He won it. Kimmich is still there. Boateng and Alaba, this defensive pairing is away. Alaba is playing for Real Madrid. Then Alphonso Davies is still available. That is the left back, and to me is the best left back in the world. Thiago Alcantara is out. He's at Liverpool. Then Gretzka, Lyon, he's still there. Those are 4 players. Serge Gnabry, 5. Thomas Muller, 6. Coleman, 7. Lewandowski, left. Let's go to the bench and see who are those that are still there. Nicolas Schule went to Bayern Munich. Philippe Coutinho left and really joined Aston Villa. Ivan Perisic joined Tottenham Hotspur. Tolisso is no longer there. Pavard is no longer there. Martinez is no longer there. Lucas Hernandez, is he still there? I don't really remember. But they had not yet gone ahead to bring in Jamal Musiala. But Jamal Musiala is really there. So they're having like 7-8 players out of the squad that really went ahead to win the Champions League. The Champions League in 2020. And that is huge experience. Harry Kane has ever gone ahead to play in the Champions League final. That was in 2019, where Liverpool went ahead to beat them. I think it was by like 2-0 in there for you. So the experience he's talking about is really huge at Bayern Munich. But when you go to the side of Arsenal, he says that they are building momentum towards really gaining the Champions League experience. And I think this side of Arsenal has the experience they want, because when you look at the number of players they have that have gone ahead to participate in the Champions League in the previous 3 years, it's really almost half the team that really starts in the starting 11. For example, Partey at Atletico Madrid even played in the Champions League final. Julian Timber, I think on 2 seasons when Erik ten Hag was there, he played in the Champions League, and I think at a certain point they were knocked out by Liverpool. I think it was at the round of 16. Then Jorginho, Champions League winner. You know what he does and what he did on the final when Chelsea was beating the side of Man City. Then Zinchenko, have I talked about him already? Zinchenko played in the Champions League final in 2021, where Chelsea went ahead to beat Man City by 1-0. Gabriel Jesus is another one to talk about. So Arsenal has like 6 players that really have some Champions League experience that has gone ahead, obviously coming through and do the needful. El Nini, you remember very well, he has been at Arsenal for some time, and he had been participating in the Champions League for the side of Arsenal, and that is the beauty that you get. And I think that experience is really enough for Arsenal to really go ahead and really do that, because I still stand my ground. Arsenal has a greater chance to knock out Bayern Munich. The chance is really huge for Arsenal to knock out Bayern Munich, because I know how Bayern looks. Bayern is weak. Defensively, they can concede very many goals, and I think Arsenal can open them up when they really want, because I saw how United was going to annihilate them. And that is it. So that's what he said about the momentum of Arsenal players and very many others. Then he went ahead and added the following about the players of Arsenal and how they're really thinking about this. He said, the way the players and the team are performing is very exciting. We are playing at our best at the moment, so let's carry on playing the way we are playing and see how far we can go. It's a privilege to hear Champions League football. There are a lot of big clubs here, so we will have to do our very best to carry on in the competition. It's the quarterfinal of the Champions League. There will be a lot of fantastic players on the field, and I'm sure it will be a great atmosphere in both stadiums. We will do our best and try to do everything to get through to the next phase. So he's talking about the way the players and the team are really performing is very exciting. That is it. And why Porto made it hard for the side of Arsenal was simple. Porto respected Arsenal, and that is it. And they played a low block, and they really had an organized defense, and their patterns of play were really forming up. Those triangles were really good, and everyone would have gotten to know how exactly good the Porto side was when it comes to obviously defending. But when it comes to Bayern Munich, one of their hugest red flags is the way they defend. For example, in the Champions League, they conceded 3 goals at Allianz Arena against Man United. They conceded, I think they conceded 1 at Copenhagen away. They conceded 1 at in Galatasaray. So they've been conceding very many goals as compared to Arsenal. Arsenal is one of those teams that has gone ahead to concede very few goals. You know, Arsenal is one of those teams that have gone ahead to concede very few goals at the moment, because at Emirates, they haven't gone ahead to concede any goal. And if at all it continues to go that way, trust me, a lot will happen and will go their way. That is the side of Arsenal for you. So I really appreciate what Edu is really talking about. They're really building momentum and they're really having some exciting players, and it feels good for them to be into the Champions League. And I think that is really very, very good for the side of Arsenal. And I think he feels like his side can really carry on to the next round. The stadiums are really having a beautiful atmosphere, and I think it's really gonna be huge for the side of Arsenal, you know, and the players like Gabriel Jesus will have gone ahead to integrate into the team of Arsenal. And I'm going to show you the fixtures and how everything is going to pan out the moment the players return from the international break. And this is where Arsenal has to keep their hands crossed, because they need to see to it that their players really keep fit. But I think a lot has to do with who is being played where and for how many minutes they're really going to be played. I think the manager of Arsenal will have to talk to the people there and really manage the minutes of these players. Edu asked if Arsenal can go all the way in the Champions League. He said, why not? We have to dream because of the way we are playing and performing and the momentum we have at the moment. This is the position we have to always be in because of the size of the club and the way we are. And it feels like we are back where we belong. So, Edu feels like Arsenal can really knock out Bayern Munich, you know, and he feels like the team is really gaining momentum for the right cause, and this was going to hit to come in at a very right time. You know, when you look at teams like Atletico Madrid and Borussia Dortmund, they had teams. I've gone ahead to see people jubilating that, oh, we've gone ahead to be drawn against Atletico Madrid. That is Borussia Dortmund, you know, Barcelona, PSG, you know. And it's good that Borussia Dortmund and Atletico Madrid have gone ahead obviously be drawn one another, because I saw a game of football where Borussia Dortmund went ahead to park the bus when they were playing against Man City. They went ahead and parked the bus intentionally, and the rest was total hard time for Man City, you know. So Dortmund and Atletico Madrid, to me, I think they're the hardest sides that you'll never want to face in this competition. And whoever faces any of those teams in the semi-finals is really going to feel it. That is it, because those teams can, for Atletico Madrid, we all know how they play. They can park the bus, you know, and hit you on the break. But for Borussia Dortmund, they can surprise you. They can decide to park the bus, and they can really decide to attack you. So that is Bayern for you. And, sorry, that is Borussia Dortmund for you. And for me, if I'm an Arsenal fan, I'm excited because I'm going to be playing a side of Bayern Munich that is really having a bad run of games. You know, they've gone ahead to concede very many goals this season, especially in the league. They are 10 points off the leaders, that is Leverkusen. Grant Xhaka can really, I think Mikel Arteta is going to really call Grant Xhaka and really tell him on how they went ahead to beat Bayern Munich, you know, in 2 games this season. You know, they've gone ahead to beat Bayern Munich, and I think he might even apply that system that Alonso goes ahead to use, or he might really try to integrate his tactics with those of Alonso. And I think Xhaka will be willing to give Mikel Arteta the tactics to obviously come in through and really kill off games like this. So I'm really excited for these games, and I think I've liked the confidence of Edu. That side of Arsenal, by the way, is really great, and I think I will do a combined 11, and I think the side of Arsenal can really get in more and more players into the starting 11 in there for you for the side of Bayern Munich. And I think the only position, I think the positions that you believe Arsenal cannot compete for are the goalkeeping department, left back, center forward. But for the rest of the 8 positions onto that field of play, I think Arsenal has gotten better players, you know. So we wait and see how that pans out. But we've been told by the website of Arsenal that the first leg of the UEFA Champions League quarterfinals will take place at Emirates Stadium on either 9th or 10th, with the return fixture occurring in a week later at Allianz Arena on 16th April or 17th April. Confirmed dates and kickoffs times will be announced in the due course. So that's when games will be played in there for you. So Arsenal, let me read to you the fixture of Arsenal and how it's going to have to change. Fixture of Arsenal, you know, because now they're having some 2 extra games in the midweek. That is Arsenal for you. So on the 31st of March, Arsenal is going to be playing Man City. I think I'm gonna do this, you know. I'm gonna do a special video for this, Arsenal's next 5 fixtures. Then after that, Arsenal will have to play against Luton Town. Then after playing Luton Town, they have to play Brighton. Now after Brighton, Arsenal will have to play Bayern Munich at home. That will be the 9th of April. After the 9th, they'll have to play away at they'll have to host Aston Villa, and then travel to play away at Allianz Arena, you know. So those are the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games of Arsenal. So all games that Arsenal are left with are really important, because in the Premier League, if they win all their games, they lift the trophy. In the Champions League, they knock out Bayern Munich, they go to the semi-final and wait for the winner between Real Madrid and Manchester City. So we wait and see how that pans out, but it's really going to be a very interesting encounter for everyone who really loves the game of football. And Arsenal fans, you are I'm just giving you this. You are the favorites. It's not that I really want to see Arsenal. It's not that I'm really trying to hate on Bayern Munich, because Bayern Munich went ahead to beat Man United in home and away in the group stage. That is, I think it was Group A. But I would like to confirm to you that Arsenal is miles far off. That is it. And I've always gone ahead to let you, and I've always gone ahead to tell you my reasons as to why I think Arsenal and Man City should go through, because I want the 5th spot to go in for the Premier League. Because at the start of things, the Bundesliga was doing great, but after the round of 16 in the Champions League and the round of 16 in the UEFA Europa League, it looks like the slot has gone ahead to really go to the Premier League. And if Arsenal knocks out Bayern Munich, that is really highly coefficiently rated, then it will be bad news. That's why I would love to see Atletico Madrid knock out Borussia Dortmund. I would like to see Arsenal knocking out Bayern Munich, right? Because that will be the last nail in the coffin for them to really claim for the 5th spot of the Champions League. Remember, in the previous ages, 4 teams were playing the Champions League in every, I think, top 5 leagues. That is the Premier League, La Liga, Bundesliga, Italian Serie A. You know, those 4 leagues produce 4 teams. Then the French League 1, it produces 2 straight and 1 that goes through the playoffs. In Turkey, they have to go through the playoffs, I think. Then the Eredivisie, that is for the Netherlands, they produce 1 team, and I think the other goes through the playoffs, you know, and teams from others. I think in the Scotland, the team that lifts the title comes direct in here for you. The second team has to go in the playoffs. So the only side that is going to first take 5 teams in the league is gonna be the Premier League. It first happened when Liverpool went ahead to win the Champions League in 2005, when they finished 5th. So 4 teams qualified for the Champions League. Liverpool had to go ahead and really go into the playoffs, because you cannot come out to play into a tournament when you don't have what we call a defending champion. That is it. So I call upon for your reactions onto Edu as far as Arsenal versus Bayern is concerned. What do you make about his take about this? May the living to God bless you abundantly. The Muslims, Ramadan Mubarak. And tomorrow is a Saturday. FA Cup is coming in through. I feel like I'm in the vibes of really doing one live stream to really talk to you about the FA Cup games in there for you. Bye bye. I'm waiting for your reactions in here.